I'm Ann Edenfield-Sweet with Wings for Life International, and we're here doing another wonderful program, and I'm so excited. We've got Rebecca Cisneros here, and she is the, let me get this straight here, she is the Youth Management Coordinator for the Department of Workforce Solutions. And what I'm so excited about is I did not know that they actually went down to elementary age to teach this program. So the kids at elementary age are so excited, then the middle school, and then by high school, they're really ready to go. Of course, they use it for adults too, but this program is good for everybody. So I hope you will pay attention to this. It's called Why We Work, and it is awesome. And Rebecca has been teaching this out and been working with Workforce Solutions now for several years, goes into all these different schools, has worked with youth programs that are youth that have been having problems, but then she can help them look to the future and see their focus. So help me welcome, I'm so excited to welcome Rebecca Cisneros here tonight at Wings for Life. Rebecca.
Hello, my name is Rebecca Cisneros. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. And again, we are going to be going over a wonderful program that focuses on career exploration and financial literacy, and it's through the Department of Workforce Solutions. I'll go ahead and I will start sharing my screen. So through this program, you can find it, again, it's a Department of Workforce Solutions program. You can find it by visiting nmcareersolutions.com. You can see that link up at the top of the screen. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to scroll down. And the second one with the little piggy bank is going to be Why I Work. So Why I Work is a budget-friendly tool. It's going to show you how much you need to earn to live the lifestyle that you design for yourself, the things that you want and need. What I really love about this program is that it's very local. So I understand that some of the viewers will be from outside of New Mexico. This program is very specific to New Mexico when it comes to the cost of living and the salaries that are earned here. Now, because this one is specific to New Mexico doesn't mean you don't want to try it. You probably do have a local program in your communities, but this is a great place to start and it's free to access. So what happens is you want to select based on the location that you live or where you would like to live after high school or after you become self-sufficient. So I'm going to go ahead and select Albuquerque because that's where I live. And now income, wages, and costs of living are going to be based out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. So you'll want to go down, and I'm going to walk you through this step by step so you can see exactly how it works. Once you're living on your own, where do you want to live? Do you want to live in a house? Do you want to live in a 2-bedroom apartment? A 1-bedroom apartment? Maybe you're going to stay at home with mom and dad because their cooking is so delicious. So once you make that selection, I'm going to go with a 1-bedroom apartment. Some of you guys might know how much you already pay for rent, and if you do know, you can go ahead and add that in the custom amount down here at the bottom. So I have a sweet deal. I got it through this program that I work with, and I pay $400 a month in rent. Once I'm in that 1-bedroom apartment, what do I need? I'm going to need internet. I need water. I'm not going to go with cable because I don't use cable. I'm actually using Netflix. Natural gas, mobile, electricity. You might bundle your programs. Maybe you live in an apartment complex and you get to bundle your utilities into a small cost. You can customize that here as well. And actually, because I'm going with Netflix, I'm going to select cable, but I'm going to know that that's for my Netflix cost, and I believe I pay $12 a month for that. Once I'm living on my own, now I got to feed myself. So what kind of lifestyle am I going to live when it comes to eating? And I'm sorry this one's taking a little bit longer to load. Your options are going to be eating at home, dining out, eating at home and fast food, just making meals at home, going to a little bit fancier restaurants, or you might have a program that you participate that gives you the exact amount that's spent on food. A question I get here often is, what's the difference between eating home and dine out versus eating home and fast food? And the difference is, dine out's gonna be a little bit fancier of a restaurant, like a sit-down restaurant. Maybe my kids love Buffalo Wild Wings, and it is a little more expensive than home and fast food, which would be, sandwiches at home and McDonald's. I know once I moved out on my own for the first time and I was just getting started, home and fast food was definitely the route that I took. Next, how are we going to get the places we need to go? I love doing this. Again, I do work primarily with students, with young people in high school, middle school. Everybody selects luxury car, and when I tell them I drive a used car, I don't know why they're picturing like a buggy with no windows. It's very silly. This is all going to depend on your lifestyle. What works for you and what do you have access to? Sometimes in those bigger communities, public transport is the perfect option. Some of us can walk to work, and that's a great option as well. I'm gonna go with a used car, and actually I know that my payment is less than that. I pay $679 a month, so I can customize it. Clothing. This is excellent. This is something that we want to take into consideration, especially if we're looking for a job or if we're employed. Designer clothes, again, working with students in high school, they all think that they're going to get those designer clothes, and then they don't realize how expensive they can be. Retail, thrifty, I like to mention, I consider Ross Dress for Less, TJ Maxx, all of my favorite stores, I consider those to be thrifty. This work would be considered if you have a uniform, that you have to purchase a regular uniform. Accessories and shoes, I'm going to go with thrifty. I always want to buy accessories and shoes. And then we will go to the next one. Healthcare. Excellent opportunity to bring in other partners to talk about the cost of healthcare and your opportunities. It's always a benefit if you are able to find an employer who will provide you healthcare benefits or contribute to your healthcare benefits, but it's not always an option. So this is just another thing to make sure you research when you're going into a new career, or when you might be falling off of your parents' insurance. Good information to start to research. I'm going to select employer insurance plan. Dental and vision is separate. And again, if you are employed and you know how much you contribute into your health care, make sure you customize that there. Personals. So now you're living on your own and you got to make sure you're always stocked up with your shampoo, conditioner, all of that great stuff. I'm going to go with basics. I do have a 17-year-old daughter who, for some reason, thinks the very expensive shampoo is way better than Suave. Don't tell her. I've bought it for her once, and then I just refill the bottle with the cheaper stuff, and she has no idea. It works like a charm. Also, I'm not going to pretend that I go to the gym, but there is the option. You should work on your fitness. And hair salon and other customizable stuff. So if there's other stuff, I've noticed that some people will put their prescriptions in here. If they know that they pay $7 a month for their prescription, they add it here to make sure that it's budgeted in. Entertainment. Right now, the world's a little bit different, so we don't get to go out and do all the fun stuff, but I do think that you should plan for it. Once we get back to normal, you want to make sure that you have the money to go out and enjoy yourself when you want to. So I know that I really enjoyed going to concerts when that was a real thing to do, but right now we are investing in, home activities. And again, you can customize the amount. I don't think that I spend $125 going to concerts. Maybe I spend $75. Gadgets. So especially now that we're spending so much time at home, we've invested a lot in our computers. I got a wireless printer for my house. That was a big adult move. I felt cool. Furniture, housewares, pet care, and a vacation. I want all of these things. Now, I do not pay monthly for my furniture. I know that $250 looks like a lot. That's a lot of times we get the finance option so that we can furnish our home quickly. I know that I pay less than that a month on my furniture. I probably invest about $40 a month on furniture, whether it's cleaning supplies. So this always isn't so straightforward. You can think a little outside of the box when you're customizing these. All right, so I love this page here. When I'm working with young people, I like to ask them, what is your dream job? What is it you're planning to do? Do you know how much education is required to get that job? If you do, select that here. If you don't worry about it. I usually suggest selecting an associate's. It's a 2-year program. and you're not married to this idea. It just gives you an idea of what kind of funds could be spent. Certificate programs are awesome. Going higher than an associate's, awesome as well. As adults, some of us already know where we're at education-wise, so you can select that, or you can select where you want to be as a goal. I'm also going to select a public education facility. And savings. I wish I learned a little bit more about savings when I was younger, because I would be a lot better at it now. Savings is always something that we want to strive for. I know that sometimes we live check to check and it's hard to put some aside, but if we can start teaching ourselves, especially our younger generation, to start saving from the beginning, will help them a lot in the future. So even if it's only saving 2%, I'd be excellent just to start a savings account, period. So now we went through that, and what does it mean? What do we do with this information? So it's going to tell me my monthly expenses here at the top, and when I go through the list, it's going to tell me how much I'm spending in each category that we made selections from. So we can start looking at these and we can see where our priorities lie. We can think, should I be spending more on this versus that? And it's also going to tell me here in total expenses the annual salary I need to live the life that I just designed for myself. So it shows here $41,000. I think that's pretty reasonable. I did go pretty mellow on the things that I need. The average salary here in New Mexico is $43,000. In the state of New Mexico, the average adult, the average person with an income is making $43,000. So I'm a little bit below, and I think that's great. However, if you did this yourself and you're higher, don't stress. Don't think that you need to change it just because the average is 43. Aim high, that's excellent. You can go through and you can recalculate, you can play with it all you'd like. So what do you do with this number once you have it? Now we know how much we need to make, big deal. If you go to Occupation Finder, it's going to take you to another page, and I'm just going to give you a brief overview of how this looks. I'm not going to go too far into it. Now that we know how much we need to make, it's taking you over to a page called Career Solutions, also free to use. You are not required to have a login to use this page, but if you have a login, it gives you a dashboard where you can save information. That's the only difference if you don't have a login versus if you do. So it's going to pop up some information here. Accountants is the first thing that comes up. I said I needed to make $41,000 annually to live the life that I designed. This little dollar sign here is going to tell me accountants' average wage here in the state of New Mexico is $42,000 to $75,000. So if I needed to make 41, this would be a pretty sweet job. I'd be over my need. I selected that I wanted to get an associate's degree, and it typically requires a bachelor's degree. So I might want to consider going to school 2 years longer. This thermometer here is telling me how many jobs in the state of New Mexico are currently available for accounting, 94. And over the next 5 years, how many jobs are projected to be available? So 679 jobs are projected to be available in accounting in the finance cluster. So if I was a young person, or if I was just starting off on a new career path, and maybe I was going to invest my time in going to school for 2 more years, for 4 years, whatever it might be, in 5 years, there's going to be about 700 opportunities for me to find a job in this field. I think that's a pretty good chance of me finding employment. So I like using this site because anytime we have an individual who is going to be pursuing a career path, we want to make sure it's as realistic as possible. We would hate for you to go to school for 5 years, 3 years, any amount of time, invest your time and your money into an area where the jobs just aren't available. You may have to leave the state, or you may have to, maybe you create your own business. Those are great opportunities as well, but we want to make it as realistic as possible when you're using this tool. Now this just brought up jobs alphabetically, happened to fit into my budget. What I want to show you is here to the side, it says wage requirement. I can scroll down here and I can search. I needed to make 41. I'm going to go with this 40 annually. It's a little lower. And now this is going to pull up alphabetically all the jobs that would pay me at least $40,000. So that's one way you can search this site after you did why I work to see the funds that you needed. Again, it is specific to New Mexico, so those of you who are operating outside of New Mexico, feel free to use this. Just the wages are going to be specific to our state, but but there's also local programs within your own communities that offer the same thing. Let me just show you 2 more examples. You see the accountant above, so you'll see now an acute care nurse. The average salary is the $, way over what I need. I only need $40,000 to live the life I designed, so this is excellent. And look at that, an associate's degree. So I was already planning on going for an associate's degree, and this is what's going to offer. It only requires associate's degree. You'll see right now there's only 15 jobs publicly posted for an acute care nurse, but it is one of the largest growing jobs that we project for the next 5 years. So as somebody who might just be going into the healthcare field, I think this looks like a great opportunity. Now, you always want to compare your interests and your work values. Is this something that I'd be interested in? If I had to draw blood, I'd probably do really poorly. So I wouldn't select it just because it meets those. You always want to take other things into account. But it helps me just get a realistic idea of what might work and what won't work for me. There's other ways to search this site after you play with Why I Work and you get a feel for how much money you need to make, how much money you want to make. You can search by the jobs that are in demand, your education level. So if you are set and all you have is a high school diploma, all you have is an associate's and that's what you're working with, don't worry about it. You can search jobs available by that as well. There's a variety of ways to search it. I'm not going to go through all of them, but this is how our tool works, and this is, I hope, very helpful for you guys. Again, the site is Why I Work. You can get there by visiting our main site, which is careersolutions.com, nmcareersolutions.com. And this first little screen you see here is the screen that we ended up on, and Why I Work is this lovely little piggy bank here. So I hope that was helpful. I know that was quick and sweet. I hope that you use it. If you have questions regarding it, I'm sure they will provide my contact information. I would be happy to chat with you via email and answer any questions regarding the site that you might have. All right.
Wow. Isn't that an incredible program? And Rebecca, thank you for sharing that with everybody. And I could see now how you can use it for the younger kids. I was able to see the screen and go through it with you, and it's wonderful. And yet, for adults too, if you're getting out of incarceration, you're looking for a career change, it really kind of helps you to focus in on, okay, what kind of lifestyle do you want, and what do you have to do? Now, for people that are living on a very low income, it also helps you, because if you're only going to get a $10 an hour job and you know you're paying that $400 or $500 a month and you can't afford that car, it'll help you to figure out, okay, then what other transportation are you going to have to do? So it really does help you to figure out how to manage your money, how to find a career and a job that suits you. So, wow. That was just fantastic. I always like to close with a story, so I'm going to close with a story, and then, of course, we'll go to breakout rooms after that. So this is called confidence, because I thought, boy, you're going to get that job, you're going to figure out why you're going to work. It's all about confidence, isn't it? So here you go. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you'd like to win, but think you can't, it's almost certain that you won't. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger woman or man, but sooner or later, those who win are those who think they can. Isn't that a great one? I just love that. So that's our positive story here for today about confidence. So those of you that are on Facebook, this is the end of our program. Those of you who are on Zoom, stay with us, because we're going to go immediately into breakout rooms and talk about all the things that Rebecca just shared with us. So thanks for joining us tonight, and then I hope you'll be joining us on the 21st of December. That will be our last meeting for the year, and what we're going to do is something kind of fun. We're not going to have a specific topic. We're just going to kind of go into breakout rooms, and we're going to talk about the holidays, COVID, how are you dealing with this, how are we going to make it special, and we just want to learn from each other and have a place for people to come and share. So I hope you'll join us on Monday night, the 21st, 6 o'clock p.m. So for those of you on Facebook, see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.